Podcast, it's your friendly heatwave reminder, although we are now officially in drought season here in England. Oh god. The fans on, just in case you can hear the background, we are so close to autumn now, guys. You can just taste it. Once we get August out of the way, hopefully the cool weather will come back in September. And of course, when we get to September, it'll be just 2 months till we get going again with the Women's World Championship. So we are almost there. We are almost there. The summer moments are kind of the hard part of the off season, and then when you get to September, October, that's when it gets a bit easier because the news then starts to build back up again ahead of the upcoming season. Yeah, but we're almost there. We're almost there. Right, speaking of news, there's an article on the Hockey News website I want to talk about today regarding arenas, and I thought it was a very interesting story. So I'll go through it bit by bit, and we'll talk through it bit by bit, okay? So let's do that. The PWHL has undergone an evolution in terms of venues. From small, intimate college rinks, the league has quickly outgrown many and moved to larger arenas for other reasons too. When the Ottawa Charge announced their move to Canadian Tire Centre and the Boston Fleet decided on their relocation to Gallus Arena beginning next season, the decisions appeared to tell two very different stories. Ottawa is moving into one of the largest buildings in the league, more than doubling its seating capacity, leaving TD place for the, here we go, wait for it, 18,655 seat home of the Ottawa Charge. Wow. Boston, on the other hand, Boston, meanwhile, their training Songa Centre in Lowell for the slightly smaller 6,150 seat Gallus Arena on the campus of Boston University. One move is about adding seats, the other is about bringing the team closer to home. 3 years ago, the league was simply trying to establish 6 franchises and find suitable venues. Today, after surpassing 1 million regular season fans for the first time, teams are making long-term decisions about where they believe they can best grow their footprint. Yeah, I think we're really seeing that as a whole. I mean, obviously, I've been in the league since day one, and I kid you not when I say it's still hard to look back at that first season and see that Tio were playing in a 2,000-seat arena. Because we all knew that market was selling like hotcakes, and I just knew when it got to playoffs, they were gonna have to move elsewhere. They did. They moved their playoffs to Coliseum, and then during the off season, I was like thinking you're gonna have to move them there permanently. I saw that move coming. Of all the moves we had in between season 1 and season 2, I saw that move coming. The other two I didn't see coming, even though the warning signs of the Sirens were there in the summer of 2024. I didn't really see that one coming. But yeah, so I think kind of now as we get gearing up for season 4, and we have now 12 teams in the league, I think we're now going to see the teams, really decide, what's best in the long term. Because I think for season 4, this is where we can now start planning for the long term. The first 3 seasons have been about, growing the league, setting apart the business operations, developing the talent, and obviously growing expansion as well. But I feel now in season 4, I feel like we can now start thinking long term. So what the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years are going to look like down the line. We can now start doing that, and season 4 is the first opportunity to really do that. Now we've got 12 teams, we're going to start that for quite some time. So I feel like now it's the opportunity this is the opportunity now for teams to start thinking what's best for us in the long term. So if anybody thinks you can get the Sirens back in York City, think again. And I'll come to them first. In fact, here we go. After averaging 5,048 fans per game during its inaugural season, that figure climbed to 7,260 in Season 2, before reaching 9,304 across 120 regular season games in Season 3. More than 1.1 million fans attended PHL games this past season, which of course I was one of them, across two different states, by the way, just to clarify that. Reinforcing that the league's rapid expansion extends well beyond adding 4 new franchises. Those attendance figures help explain why so many organizations are now embracing larger venues. By next season, 8 of the league's 12 teams will play primarily in state-of-the-art arenas. Now, the reason I say that and not NHL arenas is because, of course, Hamilton is not an NHL arena. Okay? In fact, me personally have done the maths. 7 of the 12 teams next season, so that's us, New York, Ottawa, Seattle, Detroit, Vegas, and San Jose will all play in NHL facilities. Hamilton is playing in a facility that is a state-of-the-art arena. It holds 16,000, but it's not on the list of NHL venues. Okay? So let's make that clear. So basically, 3/4 of the league next year are going to be in state-of-the-art arenas. That's really good. That is really good. With capacities that exceed, well over 16,000. Although Hamilton only just exceeds 16,000. So San Jose, Detroit, Las Vegas, and Seattle all call major league arenas home, joining Ottawa, Minnesota, and New York. As mentioned, Hamilton's newly renovated TD Coliseum, it's not home to an NHL team, but it does offer more than 16,000 seats following its $300 million renovation. I think the takeover tour this year between Scepters and Toronto got 16,012. Go and double check that for me, guys. I think that was the number. Toronto and Montreal continue to chart a different path. Rather than move into NHL buildings, these two clubs have found success in the American Hockey League homes of the Toronto Marlies and Laval Rockets, respectively, where packed crowds have helped create some of the league's strongest atmospheres, particularly if you go to Montreal. Boston will still remain the lone PHL team playing in a university arena when it moves to a Gallus for the 2026-27 season, and Boston's still going to be the only team that's going to be playing in a arena that's got less than 10,000 people. Anyway, never mind. Yet, bigger isn't always better. Toronto and Montreal have demonstrated this, by the way, with consistently filling mid-sized venues and creating some of the league's most effective atmospheres, especially if you go to Montreal. If you go to Montreal, get earplugs. The Sectors have regularly sold out Coca-Cola Coliseum, while the Big Trois have nearly filled Place Bell on a nightly basis, and periodically expanded to the Bell Center for marquee matchups. So then we get to New York. So, New York's path has been the league's most unconventional one. During the inaugural season, the franchise split its home games between the York Islanders UBS Arena on Long Island and the Bridgeport Islanders Arena, Total Mortgage Arena in Bridgeport, Connecticut, making it difficult to establish a consistent home identity. And right, I remember when the Sirens moved to New Jersey was announced, and I remember doing an episode about, has the league now given up on New York as a market, because that market was not bringing in the goods and all that. And I looked at the Sirens' attendance for that inaugural season, and the Connecticut games were just like, oh my god, these are burning my eyes, because I was literally so disgusted at how low these numbers are. In what one of them, I think it might be against Montreal, One of them only had 700 people show up. 700 people. That is a disgrace. So I just, and we saw in season 2 when they moved to Potential Centre, the numbers were improving, but we're doing a lot more decent than we saw actually being in New York City. And then this season we just had, so season 3, the numbers increased a bit better. But me personally, we just concede that we felt the Sirens feel more comfortable being in Newark than actually being in New York. So all those people after MSG are trying to say, let's move the Sirens back home. No, not happening. Okay. If people in New York City are that desperate to go and see the Sirens, then get off your lazy fat arses, get on the subway down to Prudential Centre and just watch a game. Get an Airbnb for the night if it bothers you that much. Alright, come on. You know ticket prices aren't that bad in the PHL. Alright, just come on. No. So I am perfectly fine with the Sirens being in Prudential Centre. I've got no problem with them being called the New York Sirens, even though they're playing in New Jersey. Which, see, I did the research back when the announcement got made in September 2024. There have been plenty of other New York branded teams that have called New Jersey home. It's all fine. Yeah, it was very unconventional. I mean, just wow. And I still really can't put my paw on why the Sirens so badly struggled in season 1, because in season 1 we were all on the exact same boat, guys. We were all having our first season. There's a non season for everybody. We all didn't have a name. We all didn't have a brand. But yet, the rest of the league was doing fine. It had, for some reason, New York just not bringing in the numbers. Because Montreal, they also split their home games between 2 different arenas, and they were doing fine. So, it just blew my mind. It really did. The Sirens committed to Prudential Centre as their full-time home in season 2, but attendance remained among the league's lowest. That began to change though in season 3, where you had a bit of a surge of interest following Millar Cortina, and also the franchise's first ever game at MSG as well, which we know drew a sold-out crowd of 80,006, and it set a US attendance record, which I think might be a struggle to break, actually. Now, I think MSG might hold that record for quite some time. But that helped lift the team's profile. So by season's end, the Sirens had increased their average attendance by roughly 45% over the previous year, suggesting the market may finally be gaining traction after a difficult start. And we'll see how that goes. I do think moment Sirens get to playoffs, I think that's where you'll see the buzz really kick up into overdrive, and you'll see people start to pay attention, because the Sirens are currently the only Knuckle 6 team not to go to playoffs, and they were being playoffs bad, like so bad. So I think a playoff series that might help boost the profile even more. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes going forward. Boston, meanwhile, is betting that accessibility matters just as much as capacity. Although the Fleet's attendance increased in each of their first 3 seasons at Songer Centre, many fans felt the drive to Lowell made weeknight games difficult, particularly for supporters living in Boston. The Gaz Arena keeps the capacity relatively similar, but places the team in the heart of the city, closer to public transit, unis, and a much larger population base. Yeah, I remember that during season 2. It was made quite a big deal about how people are saying, it's quite hard to get to Songer Centre. I think even Tessa Julian pointed out on Jocks and Jills. But yet we were still seeing like sellout crowds on a regular basis, night in, night out. But yeah, so I feel like the Fleet's move, while it was a move we didn't really see coming, especially of course Ottawa is still the forefront of our minds what was going on there. So while the Fleet's move we didn't see it coming, it actually will work in the long haul, because they're going to be closer to home. They're actually going to be in Boston, the heart of the city. You'll be able to get more people there than you've probably done in previous weeknight games at Songer Centre. Then we got Ottawa. So Ottawa, faces almost the exact opposites of when it comes to their challenges. So here we go. TV plays via an intimate atmosphere and produced the franchise's highest average attendance this past season. But the Charge had little room to accommodate additional demand. Canadian Tire Centre offers more than twice as many seats, but requires fans to travel further to Kanata, particularly those coming from central Ottawa. And you know what I say to that? Kiss my A. Kiss my gay A. And suck my dick while you're at as well. Okay? Because I've had that every single time I said when it came to try and work out how we're going to solve the landslide situation. Every time I said we should move to CTC, everyone came back at me and went, oh, it's just her. I'm like, okay, what's Boston's excuse? So you can cut that crap out for a start. No. Plus, they have every single time they've been to CTC so far, they've got at least 10,000 people in the door. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be no problem. And I'm so looking forward to the Frost Spurs game there. I really am. I'm so looking forward to that. That's gonna be circled in my diary this year really well. Anyway, God. So do not try that. Do not try that argument because I will come at you. Do not try that argument with me at all next year. Do not. Right, so the organisation is betting that increased capacity and the opportunities that come with an NHL venue will outweigh the long commute for some supporters. Those contrasting decisions illustrate that there is no single blueprint for success in the PWHL. And speaking of which, we then get to Seattle. So Seattle immediately averaged nearly 13,000 fans in its inaugural season at Cloud Pledge Arena, while Vancouver drew more than 11,000 per game at Pacific Coliseum. I mean, honestly, Seattle this past season was just like, wow. The fact that they pretty much had like at least 10 plus people in Cloud Pledge Arena night in, night out. For me, it just kind of felt like for them, it's like, well, it's just an average Tuesday. I mean, any other teams who are doing that, you think, oh, really good for them. They're really boosting their fan reach. But for Seattle, it's just like, no, it's just an average Tuesday. So let's see if that continues going into their second season next year. But honestly, Seattle, I tell half of you guys, you literally just came in straight away and just established yourself with the community. Job well done. Every market presents different opportunities and challenges. Some franchises are betting on the prestige and revenue potential of NHL venues. Others are prioritizing atmosphere, accessibility, or historic hockey surroundings rather than following a single model. The PHL's arena landscape has become a reflection of each market's unique identity. As the league enters its fourth season, the question is no longer where teams can play, it's where they can thrive. Okay? But yeah, so I feel like the biggest, sign that our league has, grown in a really big way is arenas. You know what I mean? The fact that, back in season 1, the only team that played full time, and by that I mean every single home game, in an NHL venue was us. The Frost were the only team that in that inaugural season who played every single game in a NHL venue full time. And then obviously season 2 that changed when obviously the Sirens officially made New Jersey their home. Now we saw it grow this year with obviously Seattle coming in, making Cloud Pledge pretty much their empire away. And now you've got obviously 3 of the 4 expansion teams also going into actual venues next year. Although Vegas could have gone elsewhere, Vegas didn't have to go with T-Mobile. There were other arenas that did have tenants in Las Vegas that they could have gone with. But obviously they chose to do what they feel is best for them. Of course, we've got to respect that. Obviously, you got Ottawa now doing the right thing and moving to CTC next year. And then you got Hamilton, which sort of does have an arena, is AHL style, but I'm not counting it as an AHL style venue because obviously there's no AHL team in Hamilton, and I don't think there will be one pretty much ever. Because Hamilton used to be used as a pawn in AHL relocation, so I don't think Gary Bettman would have the respect for Hamilton to give them a team. Even if PHL Hamilton and Hamilton Hammers literally just blow the market away, I still think Gary Bettman will think, no. And the fact that he now wants to put a second team in Texas, I think that shows that Canada, you pretty much are, when it comes to AHL expansion, you are pretty much on the scrap heap. I don't think Guybert is ever going to put another team back in Canada again. So, Quebec, also just deal with that now, guys. Deal with that now. Your best bet probably is trying to keep pushing to join our league. And we'll see what happens there. But honestly, it's been incredible, you know, to see the growth in terms of arenas. How you go from just one team and it being my team in season 1 to be in an arena to now 3/4 of the league now being in arenas that can seat at least 10,000 plus. That is really good, and I think ideally that's what the league would like. But obviously, if it's not possible, they have to obviously make compromises as well. As we're seeing, you know, with Boston and in TO, because obviously Coca-Cola only hold about 8,000. Blast Bell literally just hits the 10,000 mark. Blast Bell only just hits 10,000. But Aganis and Coca-Cola, those are the two smallest arenas now in the PWHL. Now we said goodbye to both Songa and TD Place, which of course was inevitable after the whole shenanigans we had last year. Literally the build to last season. Yeah, so I felt really interested. Oh, when I first was reading it, I thought, are you trying to paint the two situations between Boston and Ottawa together and trying to cause division here? Then, as I read further and further down, I thought, oh, actually, no, this actually is getting quite interesting, and it's something I want to talk about. Because it's been fascinating to see, you know, the growth over the years, and we've seen, you know, how teams have now gone from you know, working out where they will play to now working out what's going to be best in the long haul. And we're going to see, you know, going forward now, we're going to see teams make decisions that are going to be best for them in the long-term future, because we can now start thinking long-term. Something that we couldn't do back when we started 3 years ago, because we were literally just starting out with a brand new league. Now we've literally got ourselves foot in the door, and it's firmly wedged in the door. Now we can start thinking what we want to do long term, especially as we know that there's not going to be another round of expansion for at least the next few years. I don't know the exact timeline. I've got an idea of what I would prefer the title to be. I would prefer to wait until after the next Olympics, because by that point the CBA will then need to be renegotiated. You can then negotiate more games. You can then negotiate the right to have expansion by So I would say within the next 3 to 4 years, that would be my preference of the timeline for we next do expansion. Because it gives markets like Denver, like Alberta, and maybe like Quebec as well, to basically get that act together and work out what are they lacking, what is that missing piece they need to get themselves firmly a team. Because Denver needs one. Denver doesn't just want one, they need one. And I know, I saw it. I saw their passion back in March when I was there. I saw their passion with my own 2 damaged eyes. I saw the passion that Denver has. I just feel like we're missing out by not having it in this league. We really are. Yeah. So it was a really interesting article I wanted to show you guys. I'm sure there'll be more like that coming over the next couple of weeks and months and all that. And I feel like we'll talk about the show. Tell you what, I'm gonna leave it there for today. It's been a blast, hasn't it? As always. So there we go. Right, so thank you for joining me as always. Till next time, take care guys, don't get to